thing off. Turn this thing on. So much craziness happening in the world right now. It's a high. Oh, wait. Whoops. Hi. Hey, there you go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. How are you? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just ran in from the gym and it's crazy. Crazy pants. Hi. So, peacekeepers have moved into Donbas and Luhansk because of terrible, terrible things that are happening to the people that are there, who are, you know, much like your marching white supremacists in the United States, are a group of people who have been marginalized by the greater society, are not allowed their full rights, and are treated like excrement everywhere. It's not fair to them or the people around them at all. And it's just hideous, man. Don't forget. We talked about this morning when we were, those of you that joined us in the morning show. Hi, welcome to Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. I probably should have said that right at the top. Your daily adventure into the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me, dear Lord Jesus. Here's him giving a little bits of
international
story.
law. The Russian military could now react by moving in those 100.
This is a little late, man. They already did it. They went in already, man. They're already in there, dude. He called it, and then he's like, "This is we recognize it as a country, and we also recognize that country is under attack by the country it's a part of, and so then we're going to attack to protect the country we just made up against the country that actually exists that it's a part of. So we're not invading Ukraine, we're invading a new country that we just made up. All eyes are on Russia's threat to Ukraine, but Vladimir Putin's invasion he wants to muscle Moscow back to the superpower table. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, dummy. Sorry. It used to work that way. It did when it was really just about a nuclear showdown between two big powers. Now there's lots of countries with nukes. We all have to worry about lunatics, and there are other countries that might attack Russia than way before we ever consider it, just for the shit they pulled in Afghanistan decades ago. 2020 is a gaslight. The entire year was? All right, good. Putin's endgame, unravel the post-Cold War agreements that humiliated. Yeah, I got news for you. It's too late. They served their purpose, and now we've moved on. Bunch of dummies. Anyway, so there's lots to talk about today, not the least of which is while real shit is occurring on President's Day, no less. I like the things that I said this morning about Jimmy Carter. He's lovely. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you didn't. We talked about the fact that Jimmy Carter peed radioactive urine for 6 months because he and some members of his unit exposed themselves to massive amount of radiation to protect the world against a meltdown, and just miles away from Ottawa, where the truckers are there, more than likely with their heads full of anti-American bile pumped there by rebel media and Fox News, that I'm sure includes in its soup shit talking about Jimmy Carter at some point. Meanwhile, if he wasn't alive, if he'd have never lived, then the streets they would be blockading right now would be glowing in the dark. They wouldn't need street lights. All these guys. Anyways. So lots to talk about today. Not the least of which is that I'm still in line for Truth Social. We've been waiting. I don't. Let's see. Sure, there it is. Still nothing. Yeah, still haven't moved up. I'm still number 176,733. I guess I'll just have to lie until I get on there. I think is that the general rule? Yeah, but the general story has been, Ted Cruz saying that Biden is Jimmy Carter 2.0. And if I was Biden, I would take that as a huge compliment, because Jimmy Carter is a decent Christian man who has dedicated his life to the kind of values that most Republicans pretend to adhere to, and has been a dedicated public servant forever. Dude is still hammer and nails building houses for Habitat for Humanity. Just a beautiful, beautiful guy. And was basically, if any of these guys were actual patriots, they would recognize that the OPEC attacks on us in the late 70s were an attempt by them as a power to kick us when we were down. And instead of coming, using it as a way to leverage themselves into office, would have recognized that, hey, we have actually if not an enemy here, certainly a combined opponent that means to subvert the entire economy. And as a matter of fact, did help trigger the recession and the inflation that everybody's decrying. It's been 40 years since we've had recession that bad. That whole crowd could have said, well, I still believe Reagan was a better choice and presidents, blah, blah, blah. But Jimmy Carter did solid work, and the OPEC nations were trying to wipe us out. And there you go. So, but they don't have the guts to do that, nor would they. And that brings us to Bongino, who is, as always, looking for teepee for his bunghole. Bongholio is he's having a tough time. Apparently, whatever's going on, this is the biggest crisis of them all. Now, I'd like to remind you that everybody thinks we're sort of on the brink of World War III right now, but I'm sure that Bongholio is concerned. He's got a standard. Bongino, who's looking for teepee for his bunghole. Bongholio. So, the truth crisis. Now, I don't know if this is about, you guys know I don't pre-watch this. I don't know if this is about Dinesh D'Souza's inability or disdain for the title of Truth Social, Trump's social media site that launched today and then proceeded to take a, what's the technical word for it? A giant shit on its own chest. Where, let's see, I think the... It's already like the 9th story now. Yeah, it's already just buried the story. Anyways, it's basically frozen. It just sucked right now. So Truth is having its own problem, but this is probably the worst part of it. And this is the only way, by the way, that Bongino, who's looking for TP for his bunghole, can get on YouTube. Is clips from Fox News about his show Unfiltered, which is, if I do say so my damn self, heavily filtered. We'll show you. I guarantee there will be an example of that in the first minute or so about a filter that's occurring. Even if it's just he can't swear.
America is a truth crisis, a truth crisis.
Oh, it's okay. Here you go. Sorry.
Folks, the biggest crisis facing us right now in America is a truth crisis.
A truth crisis. Say truth crisis again.
Crisis. Yes,
right.
We're in a pandemic. Yes, there's a crisis in Ukraine, no doubt. Yes, inflation's terrible. But I'd argue to you the biggest crisis we face right now in this country is getting the truth. We can't trust the government.
Yeah, it's the government we can't trust. Bongino's trustworthy, though. He never lies straight into the camera.
Did you ever ask yourself, what is it we're not being told?
Yes. What is it we're not being told? What are they telling us what to wear? What shall I wear? Here I am being told something, and I've got nothing to wear. Is there something that we're not being told? Well, I had no idea Bongino was so elite. His pronunciations are so wow. Well, not so.
Folks, we've seen freedom take a massive hit in the recent days and weeks. You watched it.
Yes. In Canada, Trudeau's power grab to shut down protests. Hey, fucko, you do realize this is the United States of America, right? Hold on. I have to go back to well.
Folks, we've seen freedom take a...
Hold on.
What is it we're not being told?
What is it we're not being told? Oh, mater. Pardon me while I sit in here and play the grand piano. Ooh, we're not being told.
Folks, we've seen freedom take a massive hit in the recent days and weeks. You watched it. In Canada, a little mini dictator, Justin Trudeau.
Hey, fucko, again, you're on an American channel. We have different rules here. So fucking what? They also don't have absolute free speech up there. Not even close. They have way stricter rules. And?
Invoked the 1988 Emergencies Act to arrest a peaceful trucker protest.
Well, peaceful largely because their guns had been intercepted.
Freezing the bank accounts of supporters.
The federal government has invoked the Emergencies Act. This is about keeping Canadians safe, protecting people's jobs, and restoring confidence in our institutions.
The government of Canada declared an emergency today, targeting...
Wait a minute. Excuse me, Bongino, who's looking for TP for his bunghole. This is PBS NewsHour. This is the public broadcasting. This is the government mouthpiece. And you're telling me we have a truth problem. That's your premise. Your premise is we have a truth that we can't trust the government of Canada, but still, which is basically what we have here because Castro or some shit probably is the linkage. Meanwhile, you're showing me a clip of this and I'm supposed to take it. I don't buy it. No. I know it's PBS. I know I would normally trust them as a source, but you've just told me I can't trust the government and I can't trust the media. So why would I trust that any of this is true? I don't even know if that's a picture of a Canadian truck. I think that's a graphic done by somebody at Fiverr. And I think that's fake French on the top of it. I don't buy it for a second. I don't even think that's Judy Woodruff. I think that's Devin Nunes in a wig.
Demonstrators who have tied up the capital city of Ottawa and critical border crossings.
The polling on this indicates that Canadians are opposed to what the truckers are doing and actually would have preferred a stronger law enforcement response.
If there were election tomorrow, Justin Trudeau would win in a landslide.
But is this kind of tyrannical power grab justified by the threat?
Emergencies Act was not used after 9/11 in Canada. Oh, by the way, that's New York. In case you thought somebody, rammed an airplane into the Queen Street Mall.
Even when all Canadian airspace was shut down on September 11, 2001, over a very real, by the way. Now.
Yeah. By the way, there were no airplanes blocking the roads full of terrorists. Just saying.
Security threat. The Emergency Act wasn't used. Then there's it.
Yeah, because it was an attack on our country, fucko. Of course not. What did they? How was the Emergency Act when Pearl Harbor happened? Did they do it? No, it was nothing. Good Lord.
So remember the 2015 cyber attacks in Canada? The group known as Anonymous claimed responsibility for taking down government websites, even affecting the Canadian Security Intelligence Service website. Yet, no Emergency Act was used there.
Because what Emergency Act is to be used? What are they going to do? Shut down the bank accounts of people that are anonymous and unknown to them? What are you talking about? They have other stuff that they do in response to cyber attacks. The fuck are you talking to? Who is this supposed to be for? Is my question. I'll get there eventually. At what point? Again, he's an easily confused human being. Canada government website taken down in cyber attack. Right. It didn't freeze trucks. Nobody. And again,
Then there were the shootings inside Canada's Parliament 2014, which left lawmakers barricaded inside their office buildings. So why not use the Emergency Act for that?
Because they caught the person that did it and it was done? It wasn't something that was ongoing? I guarantee they would have used it if they were besieged by people in trucks with guns hidden all over the city and that they were planning on ratcheting up the violence over time. I don't understand. Why don't they give stitches for every headache? If stitches work right now on this cut, if they're stitching a cut shut, why didn't they treat cancer with stitches? How come they don't treat I had a sinus infection. Why aren't sinus infections cut? Why don't they stitch my nose shut? If stitches work some of the time, why don't stitches work all of the time?
Well, even the left-leaning Canadian Civil Liberties Association, they can answer that question. They tweeted, quote, "The federal government has not met the threshold necessary to invoke the Emergencies Act. This law creates a high and clear standard for good reason. The act allows government to bypass ordinary democratic processes."
By the way, that's the Canadian offshoot of the ACLU. And I'm sure that the rest of the time, when there's no horseshoe overlap, he's totally for all the objections they have to government overreach.
Standard has not been met. Finally, a civil liberties group waking up to like a civil liberties threat. Welcome to the party. Yet the leaders of the protests have been arrested under the powers of the Emergency Act.
Uh-huh.
So what's the truth here? Do the actions of the trucker protests really vindicate the actions of Justin Trudeau attacking their civil liberties? Well, let's check the tape. Yeah, looks like.
And yeah, they're fucking Canadians. We get it. They're all nice. We all know that if a Canadian picks a fight with you in a bar, they go, "You want to step outside, eh?" And you go, "Yeah, let's step outside." And they go, "Let me get the door for you. After you." No, after you. No, after you. You know what? Let's get a beer, eh? Like, and?
Grave national security threat to me. What about you? Even Canada's War Measures Act, which predates the Emergency Act, was only used 3 times, including during both world wars. Listen, it's...
By the way, when you're talking over this, it sounds like a Russian hymn. Like, either play one or the other, dum-dum.
Obvious. We have a truth crisis. What we're being told just doesn't align with what's...
What do you mean what we're being told? The Canadian government has their own rules and standards. They can choose to use it or not. And if the representative government that's been elected by the people doesn't live up to that standard on a massive scale, then the voter doesn't like it, they'll replace them. That's how shit works. And why the fuck do I care? Seriously. The only part Americans have played in this is that some of the American truckers have been busted bringing guns to this. What would otherwise, and by the way, you could argue that assholes that follow Bongino and everybody at Fox News who are invested in this shit, who've driven to the border with guns, are the reasons why this thing went from just a blockade of asshole truckers to something that required this level of intervention by the government. That intervention is our fault.
Actually happening. You can't trust anybody anymore. And patriots everywhere deserve to know why we're constantly being lied to. I mean, remember the January 5th...
Canadian patriots? Pipe bomb. Is he going to have MTG on to talk?
Pipe bomb suspect? Oh, yeah, got your attention there. Well, whatever happened to the effort to find that person? Will we ever get to the truth about...
It's ongoing. What do you mean whatever happened? You think they just gave up?
That was? You know, the FBI released video of the suspect planting bombs that thankfully never went off outside the DNC and RNC headquarters.
Yeah, a lot of us are pretty sure it's a she, and she was on Steve Bannon's show yesterday. But hey, you know, that's the nature of it.
I'm pretty familiar with crime scene investigations, so I'd just like to explain to you a few things. So you have this professional bomber who managed to avoid the surveillance network of the FBI and all of the surveillance cameras in D.C. We don't see him coming out of a car, a house, or a hotel.
Excuse me. You're presuming it's a he. And in an investigation, details matter. So you're already eliminating 50% of the suspects, 51% of the suspects you might run into. So already you suck, you're fired.
Is to leave no fingerprints on the devices.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a fairly high target thing. I'm going to guess they're going to wipe the fucking thing down.
DNA, my gosh, it's like magic. The entire FBI source network of informants has no idea who this guy is or woman.
There you go.
And by the way, they got the bombs. They have these unexploded bombs, and the stuff was apparently a non-exotic explosive that they couldn't detect. And by the way, the cell phone calls the suspect allegedly made, they couldn't triangulate and find out where the cell phone call came from. Isn't that kind of weird? So we're supposed to...
Yeah, we're supposed to just believe that this actually happened and they weren't able to find somebody with the limited information they have. Or perhaps the FBI actually planted these bombs. I mean, flip a coin. What are the chances? Fucking hell.
This professional avoids surveillance, fingerprints, DNA, blah, blah, blah. You just heard that whole thing. Couldn't put together explosives that actually went off? Why hasn't the FBI launched a major public PR campaign like they did with the others?
Well, because they did, but it effectively ran dry. There's only so, and then the very next day, by the way, they had a flood of information and a flood of stuff they had to go through with people who actually attacked the Capitol. It's still an ongoing case. They're still looking. So at this point, Bongino wants you to believe that every unsolved case or every case they haven't managed to find the primary suspect on or announce, even if they found the person, announce a primary suspect. Any case where that's happened, more than likely it was law enforcement that committed the crime. Okay. Yeah. And this is backing the blue, by the way, just in case you want. So, yeah.
On their top
10. It was Hillary.
Listen, I'm just asking questions, right?
Yeah, I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying anything. I'm not implying that the FBI planted these bombs to make Trump look bad. I'm allowing for the inference thereof. And I'm intellectually incapable of knowing the difference, so that's the way I'm going to go with it.
I mean, do we not deserve the truth on this?
Hey, dummy, yes, when it's available. At what point do you have the right to either come in midway in an investigation where they might be onto something and insist they announce to you where they've gotten, or it doesn't happen? I guess that's the case right now. That's how it's going to work now. So unless they tell you where they are at any time, you demand where they are in an investigation, then the assumption is it hasn't gone anywhere. And if they won't tell you everything, then they're in on it. Fucking hell.
You plant a few bombs. I want to know who they are. I don't care about their politics.
Sure.
Does the FBI? Then
Yeah, the FBI. Yeah. Now that it turned out it's more than likely a Trump supporter, they just stopped looking. What?
The John Durham court filing in the Spygate investigation. Listen.
What? Spygate? That's what you're calling it now? You can't be that generic about it, dum-dum. There's been lots of spying. All spying is a gate to that if it's found out, which, by the way, wasn't spying. But okay.
For years, the left's been hiding the truth about what the Hillary Clinton team did to spy on Donald Trump and then frame him for colluding with Russia.
Do you still believe the president could be a Russian asset?
I think it's possible. I think that's why we started our investigation.
We are looking at the possibility that the President of the United States and those around...
By the way, it's pronounced asshat, not asset. I'm just saying.
During an election campaign, colluded with a hostile foreign power to undermine the basis of our democracy.
There's outright treason. I mean, there is no question that what he is doing is giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
A political hurricane is out there at sea for him. We'll call it Hurricane Vladimir, if you will, the whole Russian thing.
Yeah, imagine being one of those buffoons now. Listen.
Yeah, none of this pushes back on it, dummy. None of it. Clinton campaign lawyer Sussman files motion to dismiss Durham prosecution. Yes, we know. But I told you that was going to happen. And he's going to get it. HRC lawyer calls Durham probe an overreach. Yeah, you think?
Democrats are terrified we're actually going to find out the truth about what actually happened.
No, they aren't. If anything, you guys want to pretend that spying happened and that was the primary crime, not the fact that he was scooped up in actual contacts. And if you're looking at a criminal, if you have the phone lines of a drug dealer tapped or a terrorist or a human trafficker tapped, and you keep making calls to that person, eventually the FBI or somebody is going to go, hey, can we, Your Honor, with this guy keeps calling. The first two times we thought it was an accident, but now We're fairly certain he's a client. He may even be the boss. We don't know. We'd like to look. Well, how many times he called? About 1,000. Over what span of time? About 8 weeks. Okay, yeah, I think so too.
The attorneys for the indicted former lawyer working with Clinton and the DNC, Michael Sussman, filed a motion to dismiss the Durham prosecutor.
Right.
Hilariously claiming...
I'm sorry, dismiss the Durham prosecute?
Michael Sussman filed a motion to dismiss the Durham prosecutor. Hilarious...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with a lot of legal terms. The Durham prosecutum. That's from posse prosecutum, the old... legal term in Latin, which covert rectum immortis.
Claiming it's extraordinary prosecutorial overreach. Yeah, have they heard of Mike Flynn and those other cases? Just kind of weird.
Yeah, you mean the guys that admitted that they were guilty?
Hillary Clinton, she's questioning whether conservatives are... Hillary Clinton questioning whether conservatives are in touch with the truth.
Yeah.
Now, it is one thing to have political disagreements. Those are natural and healthy. But it is an entirely different thing altogether to lose a shared sense of truth, facts, and reality itself.
It's hard to believe. Did she just say that? Did that really?
Yes, she did. And it made total sense. And of course you're going to react this way because you're a fucking lunatic. Yeah.
But the truth goes a lot deeper than the left wants you to know.
It's pronounced truth, by the way.
Did you see this key line in the Durham filing? It suggests that this operation to spy on the Trump...
Oh, dear God. A key line suggests. Show us.
Through multiple avenues was potentially bigger than we know. This is a quote from the Durham filing.
Yeah.
The government's evidence at trial will also establish...
Well, establish that among the internet data tech executive and associates exploited was domain name system, internet traffic pertaining to a particular healthcare provider, Trump Tower, Donald Trump's... Yeah. Please let there be more than this quote, because we've already covered this, but please, yeah.
That among the internet data and their associates exploited among the data. If you have the reading comprehension better than a third grader, you'll understand, you know, that eliminates a lot of people on the left. But that would indicate to you that there's more there we don't know, right? What do we not know?
A lot, fucko. I don't even know that's, what was the sentence there? The government's evidence at trial will also establish that among the internet data tech executive and associates exploited was domain name system, internet traffic pertaining to a particular healthcare provider, Betsy DeVos's company, Trump Tower, Donald Trump's Central Park West apartment building, and the executive office of the Vice President, the President of the United States. By the way, while Obama was president, and the internet data they exploited was DNS. This is all public. You can find this shit. It's not that hard. Good Lord.
And who's Agency 2, by the way, this Clinton-connected lawyer was talking to? Well, according to multiple reports, Agency 2 is the CIA.
Right, because he went to the FBI and said, this is a crime. And they went, yeah, we deal with the crime inside the country. The crime outside the country, you got to talk to the CIA. So he went there too, because he had evidence of a crime that this fucker was taking advantage of. Gaps in security, I suppose, that he thought existed with his cohort server in the basement of Trump Tower.
The truth about exactly how Trump was spied on is just the beginning. I don't think the CIA is...
What do you mean, just the beginning? Literally, he's taking that among the data part as like, this is the tip of the iceberg. No, it isn't. It's all of it.
Be looking at American citizens. I heard that once.
They shouldn't be looking at American citizens. The FBI can. The CIA doesn't. But the CIA can check the other side of it if American citizens are engaging in espionage or giving top secret information or colluding with foreign powers to the detriment of the United States. The CIA does have a mandate there, and they coordinate post 9/11 with the FBI. You see, this fucking, oh my God.
Everyone on the left said this is about the intel community, by the way.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways.
Again, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? This is not random. This isn't just like a broad sweep. And this dude wasn't part of the CIA or the NSA or part of government at all. This was a private citizen with the capabilities of a private company. He wasn't using government servers to get information.
Sunday at getting back at you.
Man, he wasn't kidding, was he? Folks, listen.
Unrelated nonsense. British intelligence passed Trump associates' communications with Russia on to its U.S.
Just right-wing media talking about this. Here's CNN from 2017. Remember this article? British intelligence passed Trump associates' communications with Russians onto U.S. counterparts, which means U.S. counterparts in intelligence, right? Was that story true then? Is it true now? Has it been redacted? Are they correcting that? Who are their U.S. counterparts? We being told the truth? Remember where we started here.
Well, again, what's your assertion here? Again, you can't leak a lie. So if they passed on communications, they're legit communications. If they fabricated communications, if for some reason there's an idea that the Brits in collusion with the CIA made shit up about Trump, then have at it, fucko. Yeah, CNN is left-wing according to him.
It's pretty simple. We're going to have to continue.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
This crisis after crisis until we confront the biggest crisis of them all, getting to the truth.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Good God. That was an opening monologue? That was supposed to establish something? What was that other than sort of like him sniffing his own paranoid farts? Good Lord. Just lazy. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is the House Sparks Megaworldwide live stream. I'm here every day, just about. Not on Sundays, because I have to repatch my studio together when it falls apart over the course of the week. This is, and by the way, some of you are going, Hal, just while you're on the air, shit is going down in Ukraine. And that is true. That is definitely true. Let's see. This is happening right now as we speak. Here you go. Moscow orders troops to separatist regions in Ukraine. Mainly, there you go. Comes after Putin recognizes territories in fiery speech. Please. U.S. says it will impose sanctions on the breakaway regions. Yep. All the sanctions are going in place right now. There's COVID. Okay. This is So Moscow orders troops to separatist regions in Ukraine. They're going to roll into Donbas and into Crimea and try to muscle the people that are there. So there's going to be like back and forth fighting. They're hoping that what that'll do is squeeze the Ukrainians that are in those areas and push them more towards, I guess, direct violence. So they'll have an excuse to say they attacked our troops in an area we recognize as not their country. Yeah. So, good times. Signed a decree that allowed for troops to enter the two regions for peacekeeping. There was peace there. Now there's not going to be. Good luck with the peacekeeping. I'm glad, by the way, there will be plenty of people who are in the constant shit on America crowd that will somehow, I guess they're going to feel slightly upset that they can no longer mock the United States or the UN for peacekeeping forces being used, I suppose, in their view, ironically in places. Yeah. This is probably a dumb question, but which side are the separatists on? The separatists are on the Russian side. But the areas are not 100% populated by separatists. That's the difference. These territories have a mixture of Ukrainians and Russian-allied separatists in these areas, and they kind of mix and mingle back and forth. They have kind of in a tense way for, since 2014. And now this is, Putin came out and said that Ukraine was committing genocide against the separatists in these areas as a pretext for going in. Yeah. So there you go. Delivered an emotional and aggrieved address laying claim to all of Ukraine as a country created by Russia. Yes. We made it, even though Stalin gave it to Ukraine and then Ukraine broke away and then they kept that part and we wanted that part still. And then, we're going to sanction the area where these groups are let in so nothing goes in, nothing goes out monetarily. And then the minute they step over this line, out of here, this is this area. See this held by Russian-backed separatists. And then this is the same thing. This is mainly where they are. So this is probably where the troops are going in. And then there's this line of contact where nobody's supposed to go past it. This isn't weird that he put stuff here. And it would be relatively unnoticeable. It's when you get into this area that it'll start getting wonky. And then this is where an engagement of war happens in this hashy area. While Mr. Putin's ultimate plans remain a mystery, I think it's to live in a volcano lair, and create his own
Dr. Evil
place where he can hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair.
I'm pretty sure that's the plan. But in the meantime, we have someone will help us straighten it out. And look at the graphic on this shit. This is World War III or Distraction is the title of this video from Russell Brand, because all of these people apparently want to make money nuking Ukraine or some shit. That's what we're supposed. And of course, Russell doing his best impersonation of a yellow crayon after doing a great big sun. Lots of sunshine. Or either that, or he's worried he was changing a tire and he didn't want to be spotted on the side of the road. We're not quite sure. But yeah, this is and there'll be an ad here. Oh, kitty litter.
An amazing cat litter.
Amazing.
Pretty litter. Pretty litter is made of
That's adorable.
The most brutal thing we humans do to each other. Surely no one.
No, it isn't. War is not the most brutal thing humans do to each other. As a matter of fact, it's like third or fourth on the list. I would argue that starving people out is the number one part of it. Yeah, actively starving out entire areas. Yeah, that's not a form of war, I guess, unless you look at it kind of long form war. Genocide would be right up there. Just wipe, like what's happening to the Uyghurs right now does not qualify as war. But we get the point.
Be callous enough to use war as a distraction, like a stupid illusion.
Oh, I see. And by the way, the distraction is the West is doing this as a distraction. We, because of inflation, I suppose, we'll see, made Vladimir Putin surround Ukraine. Yeah, I think the Edge fan torturing goes right up there. Yep. That can be part of war or not. Yeah, there's a lot of things that humans do awfully. Yeah. But
this hat. Hello, you glorious tribe of 5 million. Together we walk side by side, learning from one another.
No, you're not learning from one another. This is a completely rhetorical endeavor that you're engaged in. You speak only outward. I, unlike you, good sir, have a chat that I will often reference or talk to specifically when I'm not in the middle of something. And I actually engage. That would be where we go together, because some people will tell me a piece of information I might not have been aware of that was happening or any of those kind of things. And then I would refer to it, or I might differ with it and bring up another point. It's a great kind of a thing. However, this is an entirely rhetorical video endeavor that you're putting out by yourself in your rich country mansion.
Things like that war between Russia and Ukraine that doesn't seem to be happening yet, and if it does happen, then... Obviously, we'll address it, a war that's very confusing. And
obviously, it's very important. Yeah, hold on. I've got to bring in an expert who's used to talking to people like Russell. I think I have somebody in here. Do I? Let's see. Who do I have? This, yeah. Hold on. There we go. Hello. Yeah. Sorry there. Yeah. You can explain the whole thing, can't you? Oh, it's good
to understand why it's particular people's business, and is it for economic reasons?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably for economic reasons that Vladimir Putin is putting troops in Belarus for just an exercise or two, and then leaving them fucking there, all of course surrounding the area in the south and in the water and blockading boats so that Ukrainians are trapped on the entire western side of their entire country or whatever. That's probably so that the UK can make a little extra money on Kit Kat bars and plastics. Right? It's probably so Big Pharma can make a lot of money.
Just be a massive distraction. And while
that's what it is. We're Joe Biden, who is a complete doddering old fool who can't actually think for himself, has got really long arms, right? And he sent one of those arms all the way across the sea, under the ground, through the London Underground, out the other side, past Sweden, up through then to St. Petersburg, under the water, right up Vladimir Putin's backside, and he's using him like a fucking Senor Wenceslas, whatever the Russian version of that would be. Yeah. And he's just controlling him, making him do that.
The subject of massive distractions, I am appearing live all over the UK. Come see me.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Sorry. World War III has cancelled it. Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm sorry. If you got tickets for Russell Brand, I would burn him for firewood, honestly, because he's not going to give you any of his firewood. That's his. He pays a guy to chop it for him. Yeah. You're just going to have to burn your Russell Brand tickets. Sorry.
Plymouth, Glasgow, Newcastle. There's a link in the description.
Yeah, you can just click on that below. Go see me live. I mean, it's World War III and there's a distraction and they're ending the world and the Great Reset and also they're poisoning us and killing us and everything. But I'll still be doing shows, won't I? Oh, that's wonderful.
If you fancy coming to watch me, I'm pretty...
I don't, actually. I've seen both your specials and I find them dry as an aspirin sandwich. You're too cute by half, mate. And you ain't got any punchlines. It's like Eddie Izzard without any of the charm or wit.
Funny, actually.
Or fashion sense. But this is a good look. You look like a picture someone shows when they go, originally Smurfs looked like this.
Now let's have a look at this. This is by Chris Hedges.
Oh yeah, Democrats, the more effective evil. Yeah, it's completely reasonable. That's what it is. It's infrastructure. That's the evil part. These fuckers trying to get a black woman on the Supreme Court. It's all part of their master plan, yeah? That's all how they do it, yeah?
A Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. But these days, that doesn't mean you won't at some point in the future be called a fascist. The US is a...
hey, look. Sheer post. The US is a de facto one-party state where the ideology of the national security is sacrosanct, unsustainable debt props up the empire, and the primary business is war. Was this written in 2015?
Facto one-party state, where the ideology of...
hold on. It's not our fault that the fucking Republicans shit a bed, right? Why is that our fault? We used to have two fucking parties. And what am I now responsible for making Ted Cruz act like a fucking adult?
Security is sacrosanct, unsustainable debt...
Sacrosanct, not sancrosanct. It's not about your taint, you twit.
Prop up the empire, and the primary business is war.
Well, that sounds like a fact to me. I mean, he wrote it, didn't he? It's the written word. If he thinks so, it must be the case.
Bloody hell, he goes in hard, doesn't he, this geezer?
Oh, yeah, doesn't he? Oh, yeah.
One-party state, right? So, democracy...
Yeah, so it's a democracy. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you voted for Biden, you voted for Trump. It's the same thing. They do the same shit. I mean, they don't, but they do. You know what I mean? That's how they get you.
Pointless. The ideology of national security is sacrosanct. You're not allowed to question anything if the idea of national...
The fuck are you talking about? We've got oversight committees. Of course we question it, you fuckhead. What you think? Of course we do. That's why we vote.
Security is presented to you as the reason for it, and think about the last few years: terrorism, health crisis, etc. There's
it's the same thing. War on terror, war on COVID. I mean, really, it's just so they can track you, right? That whole contact tracing for COVID, that wasn't really to make sure people don't catch a disease and spread it all around the fucking place. It's so they could find you. Yeah, I bet there was a chip in that shit after all. That's why I heard that tinfoil hats don't work. You have to wear a yellow bean. Oh, shit.
Debt, propping up the empire, terrifying. And the primary business is war. Good night. When all else fails.
Yeah, that's not true. That's an assertion by somebody who fucking hates the country.
You are clueless about how to halt a 7.5% inflation rate.
Hey, asshole, you don't have to halt it. It's caused by supply chain issues. It's not monetary inflation. They're not clueless. It's year over year, you asshole. As a matter of fact, it'll go down artificially. It'll look lower than it fucking is and affect monetary policy midway through the year. But keep reading.
Build Back Better bill is gutted. When you renege on your promise to raise the minimum wage or forgive student debt, I remember
that, except he didn't fucking make it, did he? And he raised it where he could. It's still got to pass as a fucking bill. We're not a dictatorship. We've got 48 senators, you bastard. He didn't promise to eliminate student debt. That's someone else's promise.
Those promises. When you have no idea how to
Yeah, I remember those promises. I remember they came out of someone else's fucking mouth.
The pandemic, which has claimed 16% of the
world's total deaths. Although what? When you have no idea how to handle the pandemic, which has claimed 16% of the world's total deaths, although we are less than 5% of its population. What? 16%, which has claimed 16% of the world's total deaths, although we are less than 5% of the population. The world's total deaths? The world's total people are less than 5% of its population. The fuck? If we're less than 5%, why do we have the outsized role in handling a pandemic that's affecting the entire fucking world? What? I don't understand. Kiss my ass.
Total deaths, although we are less than 5% of its population, although those mandates are working. When the stop...
What are you talking about? 16% of the world's total deaths is not 16% of America. And we being 5%, what, the United States? Or the fucking, what? What math is that? I think, honest to God, I think he left out a whole goddamn sentence in the middle of that. There should be a comma or an asterisk or a fucking something right there. When the stock market fluctuates on wild roller coaster rides of highs and lows, you mean because we came out of a fucking pandemic and nobody knows how to react to the economy getting back on its fucking feet?
Market fluctuates on a wild roller coaster ride of highs and lows. That's amore. This is not going to...
I find it very curious that Chris Hayes is very upset. Oh, sorry, Chris Hedges, not Hayes. He's that other fella with the bespeckled. He's the what you call he's your Tucker friend calls him Soy Boy. Yeah, on that guy, right? Yeah, it's all right. No, Chris Hedges. It's interesting. He's worried that much about the stock market fluctuating. It's like he's got a lot of money invested in it all of a sudden, and he's pissed off. It's not doing well.
Into a Dean Martin song, is it? It's a grim depiction of the reality of American life.
No, it isn't. The stock market's not reflective of the real economy, asshole.
Help the government offered to the labour force, half of whom, 80 million, experienced a period of unemployment last year, sees that...
Everybody fucking did, asshole. What do you mean, half of which? We're in a pandemic, you bastard. It wasn't unemployment, it was non-employment. Everybody stayed home. Where were you? What are you doing, pretending 2020 didn't fucking happen? I'm sorry, is Chris Hedges on the COVID was a big fraud business? What the fuck?
Of the extended unemployment benefits, rental assistance, forbearance for student loans.
Seize the termination of extended unemployment benefits, rental assistance, forbearance for student loans, emergency checks, the moratorium on evictions, child tax rate. Yes. Yeah, because they outlive their usefulness and can actually contribute to the inflation that you were like, I bet you don't know how to handle inflation earlier.
Emergency checks, the moratorium on evictions, and the expansion of child tax credits, then you must make the public afraid of enemies, foreign and domestic.
Well, no. What are you talking about? So the case is, and I'm following you who lives under a fucking monarchy and wants to shit on my system of government in your basically racially homogenous country. The idea is that we're concocting Ukraine to deal with inflation and the fact that we have to turn off public assistance that's no longer necessary as the society opens up, because the entire point isn't to have the taxpayer who isn't working carry people forever with a tax base that doesn't exist because no one's working. The fuck are you talking about?
This depiction of contemporary American life outlines an extremely fragile and, I would say, frightening state. It seems...
No, it's a fucking fever dream.
Like America is a nation on the brink of crisis. I don't say that of any...
What? Based on what, you bastard? Our country's doing better than yours is.
Relish, I love the country of America. I love American people. I've lived there for
citation needed.
Portions of my life, and I think you are a beautiful, pioneering, spirited people.
Fuck off now.
This is a critique, as you are obviously aware, of your government, of corporations, and
What? No, it isn't. It's apparently that we, the American people, elect the same fucking person over and over and over again because we're too fucking stupid, so we don't know that both parties are the exact same, they're two legs in the same pair of pants and fucking... No, Hedges is saying the American public is fucking dumb across the board. Everyone. All the Trump voters, all the Biden voters. All of them fucking dumb. And all of us on the tit of a corporate war machine. And you're going, yep. That's exactly what it is.
Pretty grim one. You must manufacture
an existential threat. No, we don't. Russia invading Ukraine is not a manufactured existential threat that we fucking made up, you bastard. And secondly, neither is COVID. It was a worldwide pandemic. Ask the Italians. You think they fucking made it up?
An existential threat. You lot should probably watch...
Sorry, someone's hoping that I go, Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away.
Curtis's films like The Power of Nightmares, in which he outlined...
What? The Power of Nightmares, the rise of the politics of fear. Fucko, have you seen your thumbnails? The fucking nerve of this bastard. I mean, really? Look, okay, come on. Come fucking on. Can we show you that? Hold on. Shit, now I've got to go look at this again. Shut up. I mean, honestly, this tit. Look at this. Shut up.
Look, it's me.
Hey, no, look, it's me, Russell Brand, selling my shit. The Power of Nightmares, the rise of the politics of fear. This motherfucker in his goddamn nerve. The nerve of this son of a bitch. Look at his thumbnails. This is a problem for all of us. It's hard to believe this is happening. Trudeau, is this your liberal hero? He tried to tell you. Trump versus Hillary again. Johnson & Johnson lawsuits. 5 million subscribers. Thank you. All right, whatever. How do we cover this up? Trucker protest goes global. Hold the line. Mainstream media and war with Russia. World War III. So this is why they want Russia war. They knew it would kill. Dark money. This is worse than we thought. Bill Gates and his trustees. Is he serious? The end of Facebook. They're scared. Misinformation. What they're not telling you. Wait, have the truckers won? People are claiming what? This is insane. Jeff Bezos and his new super yacht. So I'm right wing now? They hate you. This goes deeper than you know, CNN, hacker, black cowl. They lied. Nancy Pelosi running for re-election? This is a real problem. This is impossible to ignore. They are distracting you. Now it makes sense. Joe Rogan and Costa and a nuclear explosion. Joe Rogan versus misinformation. This will not end well. Man in a mask and him looking like the Messiah. Vaccine passports. What do you think? The truth. Don't be stupid. Big tech planned all of this. This is what's next. What? The Great Reset is not a conspiracy? Conspiracy theory or conspiracy fact? Wait. Hillary Clinton's making a comeback. Here we go again. Canadian truckers protest, trucker convoy. There must be a lot of money to be made in these trucker fucking videos. I should have made one myself. Russell Brand reacts to viral Canadian kids slamming something. People are waking up to the lies. He's back. Klaus Schwab and the Great Reset. The narrative is crumbling. Amazon cover-up. You will own nothing and be happy. Think Big Pharma's corrupt now? This is what's next. They're doing what to vegan food? Billionaires, you die, we party. You won't believe, blah, blah, blah. What you think about this? Joe Rogan versus mainstream media lies. Who's to blame for your lack of trust? And this fucker has the goddamn nerve to put this thing on fucking screen and tell anyone, any fucking body, that weaponizing fear for political purposes is in large part, I find, a negative. Well, I can't believe it. I don't know why I've felt that this whole thing. This is beyond me. How did I know? How do you know?
How the Cold War begat the war against terror, and there are...
Yeah, and how the war against terror eventually begat this fucking show and my fucking hat.
Certainly some theories around what wars subsequently followed that are interesting to read.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, obviously the Spectre is an organization bond that we have to look into. You know?
That I won't talk about here. Terrorists...
No, yes, because I don't know fuck all about it. I think I'll just bring it up and let it lay there, and you and I can wink and nod like a couple of QAnons in a coffee shop. Fantastic.
Russians and Chinese abroad expand state power in the name of national security. Certainly when...
Oh, certainly, that's what they do. There's no threats from Russia or China. I mean, they mean nothing but good in the world. If we just get out of their way... You know what I mean? Think about how much the world would be better off if it didn't have so many Uyghurs in it. I mean, think of it. Like, imagine all that oil and gas in Kazakhstan that if you didn't have to get it out from under some Uyghurs in the western part of the fucking country, I don't know, be cheaper, and then what? Then what? Oh, it'd be so much easier. And I mean, Vladimir Putin, overall, a very respectable guy. Very, what's the difference? I mean... Alexei Navalny, I mean, he's no Julian Assange, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I mean, all men are the same.
That much fear, it's easier to legitimize CIA spying programs, it's easier to legitimize Canada, although I recognize that's a distinct and sovereign...
Yes, I think it's a mistake to legitimize Canada. Don't you? I mean, of all the things in the world, like, I've been on the fucking... fence about this whole does Canada exist fucking thing.
Nation, but the kind of behaviour they engaged in, shutting down their bank accounts, just forbidding dissent.
Yeah, just forbidden dissent is, when it blocks ambulances and school buses and all trade. I don't know why they won't just keep at it and let 10% of a group of people hold down 100% of everyone else's lives. I don't know why they won't let that go on and on and on and on. It seems weird.
In dissent which is rising up understandably because of the conditions that are being described on that continent.
Yeah, they can't go into a Tim Hortons without wearing a mask unless they've been vaccinated. I mean, wouldn't you bring guns to the border about that? I mean, honestly. Huh? How come nobody's actually thought about that? I don't know, do I?
Beat the drums of war. War is the antidote to divert...
Hold on. Who the fuck's beating the drums of war? It's okay. On the one side, we're allegedly beating the drums of war. Right? We're banging the drums. We got ready for war. Rat tack, hagga diggy whack tack. That's us on one side. And the other side, Putin's testing nuclear missiles. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? They want to attack Ukraine fucking again. We should just let them. I mean, it's why would we want to join the war machine? Fuck Ukraine, right? Only about 14,000 of them got obliterated last time. Small price to pay for the stock market leveling out.
Public attention from government corruption and incompetence. No one plays the game better than the Democratic Party. The Democrats...
Well, it's not faint praise, but still, that's nice of you to say. You know, it's very sweet.
As journalist Glenn Ford said, are not the lesser evil, they're the more effective evil. Wow, that's pretty heavy. That came up in my...
That's fucked up. It's a lie. And fuck you. And it's what a terrible fucking thing. Oh, my lips aren't chapped. It's just the way the thing looks. How you doing? I don't even know if I should have lips in this situation. Maybe I'll curl them back.
Conversation with Jimmy Dore, which is on my podcast, Under the Skin. We'll put...
Oh, what a weird thing. It's interesting that this would come up, and then you'd have a conversation with Jimmy Dore, who also fucking believed this bullshit.
Some of that stuff up on YouTube. Fantastic conversation. Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, it's great about how nothing we ever do is right. And if Putin wants to invade Ukraine, kill a bunch of Ukrainians, fucking businesses are of ours. You know what I mean? It was good that we didn't go into Rwanda. You know what I mean? We don't belong in any of those places. People should just be allowed to wipe out their own fucking people. And if they do it, it's none of our concern. Also, if we don't stop it when it happens, we're evil.
Cowardly left-wing person says that the efficacy of the Democrats comes in the fact that they can get away with stuff.
First of all, he's not left-wing. Jimmy Dore is not left-wing. Jimmy Dore is a right-wing authoritarian, disguised poorly as a guy who gives a shit on occasion about Medicare for all, which he doesn't actually want to see enacted at all. Because if you take steps towards making it happen, or a version of it happening, and you don't just put up a vote that'll die, then he's not interested.
That the Republicans simply wouldn't get away with. The US burdened by...
Well, oh yeah. Oh, you mean infrastructure? You mean a rescue package that salvages 1 million jobs? The stuff they wouldn't get away with? Like what? A black woman on the Supreme Court? Is he still pissed off about that?
So tax boycotts by the rich and corporations is sinking in debt, the highest in our history. So that's...
Yeah, but the highest in our history. We've also got the highest economic output in our history. Our debt hasn't doubled since 2000, but our GDP fucking well has. And a good portion of the debt we take out is not to fund the military, it's social programs. So if you want to cut those, fucking say so.
Amazon, who I think are doing quite well in the pandemic, they ain't been paying any corporation tax.
They ain't been paying any corporation tax. Yes, they fucking well do. But they get money back if they invest in electric trucks and transportation. They've expanded more of their own transportation. They've taken more transportation out of the hands of the post office and put it on their own backs. They've got more drivers than the post office does in a lot of areas. They've been hiring and expanding. Jesus fucking Christ.
Wars are waged on...
Oh, Biden just signed executive orders for sanctions on the Donbas regions, right?
Money. The Watson Institute at Brown University estimates that interest payments on the military debt could be over 6.5 trillion by the 2050s. None of this debt is sustainable.
Yeah, it fucking well is. Our economy is $24 trillion a year. And we're cutting back. And the war that Biden just got us fucking out of one. And remember, Biden's got us out of Afghanistan. We're not in fucking Afghanistan anymore. We're not. We're out. We're fucking well out. We're out. We're spending $300 million a day. We're fucking well out. So if you're going to bitch about the debt and the military and what we're doing and our adventurism and all these fucking places, then you got to give the geezer credit for getting us the fuck out. But you're not, are you? No. It's the more effective evil to get out of war. That's what they want you to think. The better version, the Republican version, would be to stay in Afghanistan forever. Fuck 2,500 troops, 8,000, 10,000, 15,000. Patrol the whole fucking country, right?
mad, I think, is it seems to me, and this is something I'm willing to stake an opinion on, but will also admit that I cannot know much about. I feel like the world is...
What? Hey, asshole, we know.
Radical need of pretty serious change, that we need to look at alternative systems, new models for living. That's why I'm...
Oh, really? Says the fucker who still lives under a monarchy? Motherfucker, we are! Democracy is the new kid on the block. We're 200 years old. We're the only one of its kind. Don't bullshit us about, do we need some new system? You need to actually, here's a good idea. Turn your country into a full-fledged democracy, get rid of your monarchy, and then give us a fucking call, you tit.
Insistent that people on apparently different lines of tribal divides find ways of getting along with each other better, because radical change can't be brought about as long as everyone is disparate, diffuse, and in...
Yeah, radical change. That's what we need. Well, I don't know why I can't bring people together on the concept of my version of radical change. I don't know why that's a non-starter. I don't know why it can't be the bridge that brings everybody together is the total fucking wreckage of our current political system, which we took millennia to build to, is the best worst system or the worst best system, depending on who you ask. But it's the only one that actually people's got a fucking say in it. Meanwhile, what's the alternative? Rising authoritarianism in China and Russia. But those guys got it bad. It's just us in the West. We're the ones fucking with them. Yeah? We're the ones causing them trouble, right, Russell? You need radical change, which, of course, is inherently divisive. Or it wouldn't be fucking radical, would it now?
Constant conflict with one another. These centralised forces can continue to gad about like lunatics, running up debt, not charging the rich, all this chaos. And...
Not charging the rich all this chaos. They pay... Oh, for fuck's sake. You live in a monarchy that owns the royal crown jewels. Fuck off.
It seems to me that we need protest, we need mass movements, and then when mass movements emerge, all right, shut that down, nick all their money out of their bank account, shut down their funding, they're all racist. But
no, don't point at me when you say they're all racist, you bastard. Nobody's saying that all the truckers were racist. There's a bunch of them that were, though. And there's a bunch of them bringing fucking guns up. That's why they shut it down. And by the way, in the United States, we've got a trucker convoy that's supposedly leaving. It's going to show up for the State of the Union to protest mask mandates. It'll be largely gone by then. Well, what we're supposed to do? If the average worker, somebody's got to go to the grocery store, pick up their kids from fucking school, has got to do what? Walk through miles and miles of fucking trucks parked in the goddamn snow because 10% of a bunch of assholes don't want to get vaccinated or don't want to wear a mask when they go in a fucking Tim Hortons temper fucking rarely in Canada. Here's a good idea. Don't take shipments to Canada right now.
Bip the horn in his car! An economic crisis means a political crisis, and a political crisis is traditionally solved by war against enemies inside and outside the nation.
Yes, it's a great way to explain what the fuck is going on in Vladimir Putin's Russia right now. That ain't us, fucko. That ain't us. We're not bringing this shit. We've got bigger fish to fry. We don't need this bullshit. We don't. This ain't wag the dog on our end. We're not dropping fucking troops in this area to scare everybody in the world. He's doing this shit. And we're involved. This is like a NATO alliance, and the UN Security Council is going to sanction this fucker tomorrow. This isn't the US going to fucking El Salvador or some bullshit.
Are as guilty of this as the Republicans. Wars can get started.
No, they're not. Fuck off with this nonsense. This is the idea that, hey, well, you know, if Al Gore had been elected, he'd have done the same thing George Bush did. What's the fucking difference? Well, you can tell yourself that when you want the whole fucking thing to come down. Because this is how people who don't like democracy speak. Fuck democracy. That's what they're saying. That's what this whole conversation's about. That's what Hedges is talking about. Fuck democracy. Too many people have too much say. That's it. Authoritarianism is fine as long as I'm the authority.
Democrats, such as Harry S. Truman.
But by the way, people are asking who am I and who do I know. My name's Nigel, of course. It must be.
Yeah, or John F.
Give me a second. Nigel Cumberbatch. Right.
And Lyndon Johnson in Vietnam, and perpetuated by Republicans.
Wars can get started by Democrats such as Harry S. Truman in Korea, or John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson in Vietnam, and perpetuated by Republicans. Yeah. Yeah, because the same geopolitical dynamics are happening right now that happened back then, aren't they? In the beginning of the fucking Cold War, post-World War II. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's the same fucking thing, isn't it?
They can get started by Republicans such as George W. Bush and perpetuated by Democrats such as Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Sometimes...
Hey, excuse me, fuckhead. Who ended the Afghan war? Who got us the fuck out? Who ran on getting us out and didn't? Trump. Who ran on getting us out and did? Biden. Fuck off.
I feel like we're like kids. Like when we're talking about politics, we sort of, it's as if no one goes, should we have a look at what's been going on? You know, when we're all excited.
Well, you certainly fucking don't.
We've got to get rid of Trump. We've got to get the Democrats in. Yeah, but don't you remember, like, when the Vietnam War was on? That was started by...
Yeah, man. It's like... remember the Democrats pre the Civil War? You know what I mean? The Republicans were actually the anti-slavery ones at that time and stuff. And, I mean, yeah, I know the Dixiecrats and the switching of the names of the party, and Dinesh D'Souza runs on that fucking thing all the fucking time. But let's pretend that never happened, and time doesn't move forward, and the decisions made now by people are the same as the decisions made 100 fucking years ago, or even 60 or 50 fucking years ago. Let's actually ignore the decision just made by the current Democratic president to end a war in Afghanistan, even when everybody shit on him, including Russell and all of his buddies over at Fox News, and Jimmy Dore and all of his buddies over at fucking TYT. Hey? Yeah?
Democrat Party, and then the Republicans just carried on with it. No, don't worry about it. I can't believe that was ages ago. Like little kids or something. Let's look at what's been going on, look at what's happening now, and think about what we could do to make a different and better world.
Yeah, we are. That's why we're not in Afghanistan anymore, fucko. That's why we don't have troops on the ground in Ukraine. That's why we're supporting them and protecting themselves, but we're not actually going to war with somebody else on their behalf. That's why we're negotiating using France and Germany being the carrot and we'll be the stick. Because we're dealing with a lunatic.
Effectively, doesn't this sound to you like a clarion?
Chris Hedges, somebody in the chat room says, Chris Hedges supports the third party. Chris Hedges doesn't support the third party. Chris Hedges supports the downfall of the entire fucking system because he thinks it's so utterly corrupt it needs to be destroyed. And he thinks if it's destroyed, it'll magically rebuild itself in a utopian candy land of goodness. And all we have to do is go through about 45 years of Wild West lunacy world over, and eventually a utopia will come out.
For change. Doesn't this seem like a time where you might think, do you know what? I'm going to look at my priorities about where I put my energy and where I put my hatred and what I do with my mind and my thoughts and my life.
Yeah, that's a great idea. How about this? Start with your fucking thumbnails, you bastard. How about that? How about the entirety of your entire channel is run on making people shit the bed about the future? Maybe you spend all fucking day demonizing everyone, making false equivalencies. Which is and then assuming or insisting rather that radical change wipe it all away. Oh, isn't it nice? Oh, wouldn't that be good? It wipes it all away. Meanwhile, I live over here in a monarchy, and I know some of the royals personally, you know, and I sometimes go to them parties, don't I?
Because it seems that we might be at a point of necessary personal and cultural awakening. Bill Clinton...
What fuck does that mean? Without declaring war, impose punishing sanctions on Iraq, and authorize the Navy and Air Force to carry out tens of thousands of sorties against the country, dropping thousands of bombs and launching hundreds of missiles.
Without declaring war, imposed punishing sanctions on Iraq, and authorised the Navy and the Air Force to carry out tens of thousands of sorties against the country, dropping thousands of bombs and launching hundreds of missiles. It's weird that Bill Clinton went to all that trouble because he didn't need to distract anyone from anything. The war industry...
That's supposed to be the Lewinsky affair or whatever. That's not actually, that wasn't the wag the dog for the Lewinsky affair. That's a different time scale, asshole.
It's $768 billion military budget.
I don't know if Ficus has anything to say about this. I don't know. We could ask Ficus if he has an idea about this. Hold on. Hi, man. I got a lot of relatives over in England. You know, they know how to talk all pretty. But, you know, the way I talk comes from the way they talk, so that's good.
Along with the expansion of Homeland Security, the FBI, US Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
It's funny how you lump all that shit into one thing, the war industry. The war industry. They make both sides of the war? Is that what we're doing? Is that like that one group funded both sides of World War II, winkety-wink, small hat nonsense? I've heard some of y'all talking about that now. That dog won't hunt around here.
The National Security Agency is a bipartisan project and has...
Well, yeah, we got a country, man. Have you watched the FBI files, man? Who the fuck do you think? I got news for you. Catching kidnappers and serial killers is a bipartisan issue. That's something we all share, man. Come on.
He used to say, in all matters where both sides agree, you have no choice at all. The handful of national...
No, it might be that there's a consensus, dummy. Hey, man, if people say, you know, diversity is our strength, but it's the root of our strength, not the fruit of our strength. We all come together and make one tree that flowers for all of us equally. We don't come in there and go, I get one piece of fruit, and if you can't get it, fuck you. That ain't what it's for. And all this like fruiting, you know, diversity, strength, nonsense, bunch of shit. Dude, we all pay for our taxes and all that kind of stuff or work our jobs. And part of it is so we have some cops so we don't have to worry about getting sniped in the head like it's the old fucking West, man. I don't want to live in some like rando episode of Kung Fu where Kwai Chan Caine never shows up and the town bully just wipes everybody out. What kind of world are you talking about?
Leaders such as Henry Wallace in 1948 and George McGovern in 1972, who dared to challenge the war machine, were ruthlessly hounded into political oblivion by the leaders of both parties. I don't think there should be a war. Is he the...
Are you all right? I'm just saying, dude, it's President's Day. And Jimmy Carter's a nice feller. He won. He didn't get reelected because he was facing headwinds. But he was a good feller. And all those people you like that Dorr fella and that Tucker fella, all they do all day long is shit on Jimmy Carter.
And yet, no. Keep pounding. Warmongering by the Democrats
always combs rapid in the mantle of democracy. Okay. Freedom and human rights making Democrats the more effective salesperson. It is. I didn't realize. I have not gotten the Bed Bath and Beyond War flyer to my trailer.
That always comes wrapped in the mantle of democracy, freedom, and human rights.
Also, why the fuck are we just sitting here watching this English fella read us an article from this website like it's something? I know I came in late, and I know I ain't the brightest bulb in the box. Some would say I'm the one Christmas light that's always out. But I will say, what the fuck is the whole point of this asshole picking an article out of nowhere, reading an opinion piece as if it's reality, and then going, aha, when you ain't aha, motherfucker. You can't aha a fish story. Know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about? If I'm bullshitting you, you can't go, aha. See what he said? Yeah, I know, because I know I'm bullshitting you. What? Don't try to sell my bullshit to somebody else. I was just bullshitting you. You're stealing my bullshit.
Making Democrats the more effective salespeople for war. Democrats.
Well, then how come Al Gore didn't get elected by the military-industrial complex and get us into both the Iraq and the Afghanistan war then. It would have been a lot nicer. He probably would have, he'd have done mission accomplished, but they'd have had like a sales banner on it. Now, closing soon, Iraq, everything must go.
He lined up behind George W. Bush during the calls to invade Afghanistan and Iraq in the name.
Did we? I know a lot of folks on the Democratic side that were like not particularly fond of a war of choice in that circumstance. Matter of fact, a bunch of them were out there in the street.
Humanitarian intervention and liberating the women of Afghanistan who would spend the next 2 decades.
Which, by the way, this asshole and a bunch of his friends were all just talking about if we leave Afghanistan, what's going to happen to all the ladies?
Living in terror, burying family members, at times their children. We've got to liberate these bloody women. Right, thank you for that, Raytheon. Thank you for that, Lockheed. How are them women doing? Oh, they're burying their children. Oh, well, shame about that. And then might do another war. That cheer them up. Even when...
I don't know what he said there. I think it was a little like play he did in his head. Like, that's how it works out. Like, they pay Raytheon. So that's, by the way, Raytheon, that's that Door fella. He always brings up Raytheon. That's their go-to.
Democrats, including Barack Obama, criticised the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq while running for office. They steadfastly voted to fund the wars to support our troops once elected. They know we don't like wars. When I'm in office, there won't be any wars. Right, you're in office, so I'm afraid there's going to be some wars. I actually just said that to...
Then why ain't we still in Afghanistan? And how come we're only sanctioning Russia and Ukraine? Where are the troops? That's what I want to know. Come on, saddle me up. Let's go, son. You and me both. You believe in the autonomy of the interpersonal freedoms. You've done ayahuasca. You and I we'll both head down there to that Ukrainian front line.
Here. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says an assault on Ukraine is an assault on democracy. You'd know.
Yeah, well, that's not true. That's not, I mean, come on. That's not true. An assault on Ukraine is just Putin testing out his bombs. I mean, where's he going to test them? We've got Guam, a bunch of islands, maybe parts of Nevada. Where's he supposed to test his shit? But on the skulls of Ukrainians.
The same arguments Democrats clung to half a century ago while launching and expanding the disastrous war in Vietnam. Yeah, we've seen this film already.
Yes, yeah. Ukraine and Vietnam, you can see how they're both equally tied.
It's called Platoon, Full Metal Jacket. They're still at it. So next time you're watching TV...
Well, no, we ain't actually. Platoon and Full Metal Jacket, great films, by the way. I still get antsy when I see the ant scene. Both of them are real good movies, real heartbreaking. But there's a difference between a total invasion and sanctions. Just saying.
Or it's just on in the background and you can't get away from it because I know what you guys think about the corporate media and you hear someone advocating for war and why it's definitely this time. This war, I know Vietnam was wrong. I know Korea was wrong. I know Iraq was wrong. But this war, this is a real...
Well, hey man, what you're saying, that's what kept us out of Rwanda. Yeah, that's what's keeping us out of Kenya right now during that civil unrest. And so that, a bunch of those folks are cutting themselves to pieces and we ain't getting in the way of it.
Just war. Everything's going to be okay. I want you to remember, what have wars done for me lately? Who's benefiting from this stuff? You? Is it helping your patriotism? The US domination...
Well, I certainly would rather be on the side of democracy than the side of autocracy and kleptocracy. So, yeah, I think so.
The world economy after 75 years is over. It's not coming back. Oh, wow.
But that's because we've been basically the world's Coast Guard. We ain't doing that no more.
I mean, isn't that incredible and amazing and astonishing and worrying and peculiar?
And a sentence that don't mean shit from somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and yet we're supposed to take it as gospel. That's weird.
Strange. I mean, for those of us that in many ways love the United States of America while being cynical and skeptical.
Like how? If you love the United States of America, then why can't you quit monarchy?
About foreign policy, and mostly because of stuff like the war machine and the use of wars and the vilification of external nations and all of that stuff, it still feels strange.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're vilificizing Vladimir Putin. He's a nice feller. He's just a little bloated and misunderstood.
That geopolitics is about to shift so radically, and it also makes sense of some of the things that have been going on in the last few years. We manufacture...
like what? COVID? We manufacture little shorter weapons. We what? We manufacture little shorter weapons. The fuck are you talking about, man? We manufacture a shit ton of stuff. And even the stuff we outsource is still ours, dum-dum.
Or short of weapons. No wonder there's wars all the bloody time. Our economy is a miracle.
No. Our economy is a mirage built on unsustainable levels of debt. Bullshit. The pillage orchestrated by the capitalist elites and corporations that has hollowed the country out from the inside, leaving the infrastructure decayed. Didn't we just pass an infrastructure bill so they'd rebuild some of that shit? Didn't Biden do that? Didn't that end infrastructure week forever?
Built on unsustainable levels of debt. The pillage orchestrated by the capitalist elites and corporations has hollowed the country out from the inside, leaving the infrastructure decayed. Democratic institutions moribund.
I do like the fact that not only are we listening to this idiot read us an article as if it's gospel, he's holding it like he just found the Shroud of Turin's diaper.
And at least half the population struggling at subsistence level. The two ruling parties...
Okay, was that choppy video, or does that motherfucker have to edit his reading? Because I ain't that
for
bad.
The ruling oligarchs refuse to curb the...
Hold on. Hold on 1 second. My face is cramping being in character that long. The two ruling parties, puppets for the ruling oligarchs, refuse to curb the rapacious appetites of the war industry and the rich, accelerating the crisis. Oh, dear God. And not only that, we're covering the world in Starbucks and KFCs. It's terrible.
Rapacious appetites of the war industry and the rich accelerating the crisis. That the rage of the dispossessed is legitimate, even if it is expressed in inappropriate ways, is never
acknowledged by the Democrats. By the way, this is his argument that the Trump supporters are right.
Acknowledged by the Democrats, who were instrumental in pushing through the trade deals and deindustrialization, tax loopholes for the rich, deficit spending, endless wars, and austerity programs that have created crisis.
Who were instrumental in. Yeah, if it wasn't for Democrats, we wouldn't have all those tax loopholes and deindustrialization or trade deals or any of those things. Like the Republicans, I mean, they were just along for the ride. Yeah, I know.
Instead,
this is long.
shooting the messenger, the Biden administration is targeting Trump supporters and winning draconian sentences for those who stormed the Capitol on January the 6th. Biden's just...
Draconian? The fuck are you talking about? Most of these people are getting a slap on the wrist for attacking police officers. Former domestic terrorism unit focus on extremists, and the Democrats have been behind a series of moves to deplatform and censor the right-wing. Oh, Jesus Christ!
This might as well. Terrorism unit.
This is Chris Hedges basically writing Tucker Carlson's opening monologue.
To focus on extremists, and Democrats have been behind a series of moves to deplatform and censor their right-wing critics. You can see now why equating right-wing opponents, particularly, outside of the sanctioned political sphere, as terrorists, and there clearly is a move to do that now, would be necessary when there is an abiding awareness that the infrastructure...
Oh, fucking spit it out! Jesus Christ, man. We're not demonizing the generalized Trump voter. These are people who stormed the Capitol. It's not even the majority of them. It's the ones who went to jail because they were caught on video filming themselves, beating cops, carrying weapons, attacking people, injuring other human beings. In one case, trampling one of their own who had died of a drug overdose. And nobody got her help, just stomped her to death. Bye. Those fuckers are in jail. waiting trial. Everybody else has gone home, even if they're waiting trial. They're not doing it in jail. The people that are in jail right now, or that are getting the longer sentences, are the people who've spit at the judge on camera, told fired their attorneys, told them to fuck off, considered themselves sovereign citizen, said they were there as as a soldier of Trump and shit like that. Get out of here.
The nation is under deep threat and decaying, not as a result of the actions of their nominated opponents and culprits, but because of
blah, 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 blah.
As this article points out, financial...
Jesus, look at the edits. He had to cut... How much more blather was there in this bullshit? For fuck's sake.
Feasance, neglect, profiteering, lack of taxation, corruption.
Yeah, other buzz phrases I've said many times before, and yet they should apply here. Phrases that upset you. And therefore, if I take phrase that upsets you and associate it with something that is allegedly going on currently, even though I have no evidence that that's the case, you're supposed to get upset based on where I weaponize your empathy and care and concern and point it in that direction so I can fill you with anxiety and then run you to my other channel where I can teach you to meditate.
All the stuff, actually, that we talk about the whole time. In the end, I suppose it was going to lead to something critical. And it sounds like that's what we're approaching.
Yeah, what Chris Hedges writing an article about the Democratic Party being worse than the Republicans? Okay.
Belief that the Democratic Party offers an alternative to militarism, as Samuel Johnson said, the triumph of hope over experience. The disputes with Republicans are largely political theatre, often centred around...
Yeah, theatre. Centered around absurd or the trivial, gay rights, women's right to choose, trivial shit. Trivial. Fixing systemic economic injustices that have been present in minorities' lives for decades, finally actually taking action to fix those things. Trivial. It's trivial. Because Chris Hedges and his buddy across the pond want the entire system of the United States to burn down because it will magically reform itself like the Terminator in Judgment Day. It'll just reform itself perfectly into a utopian socialist wonderland.
The absurd or the trivial. On the substantive issues, there's no difference within the ruling class. The Democrats...
Yeah, there's no difference. None. Like the Republicans embrace the fantasy that even as the country stands at the brink of insolvency, we're not. A war industry that has orchestrated debacle after debacle, not true, from Vietnam to Afghanistan and Iraq, I'm sorry, are we still in Afghanistan? Beg your pardon. Is going to restore lost American global hegemony. Oh, by the way, that is not our purpose. Not just the Democrats and the Republicans. Global hegemony is not our concern anymore. There was a certain point where our hegemony meant that we were policing the oceans for world trade. We're not doing that anymore. We don't need to. We are and continue to be, and I'll show you this. Hold on. U.S. energy. Remember how Trump told us that the minute he was gone, yeah, here you go. Remember how Trump said that as soon as Biden gets in, energy independence is gone? What's the date on this thing? February 19th, 2022. We don't need to go to war for oil anymore. We have moved, and especially with, Democrats have moved particularly towards renewables in such a way that we can relieve the burden of the consumer use of fuel, specifically gasoline, moving towards electric cars and hybrids, creating demand destruction for oil on a scale that has actually made it so that we do not need and will not need foreign sources of oil going forward. And we're going to expand some oil drilling, get used to that idea, over the next couple of years to guarantee that we do that so that we don't get involved in military adventurism, because without the oil from other countries, we couldn't run our entire economy. We've moved past that. What started under Obama continued under Trump and has reached to reality and is maintained under Biden will be an ongoing thing. The U.S.'s entire renewables push has been an exercise in demand destruction for oil and gas. That's what it's for. And we're not going back. Because over the next decade, we're going to shift to electric cars largely and hybrids and massive trucking and delivery trucks. Those will also switch to electric. So we'll need even less and less. So it'll mainly be barges, giant, factories and refineries and airplanes that will use oil and gas. So no more. How do you fix the war for oil thing? You stop using oil and gas. And Democrats have been pushing nonstop to get us off the oil tit forever. But they're the same. The Republicans and Democrats are the same. Same people, right? Can I believe Brand is worth $20 million? Of course I can. Yeah. I mean, he's a British movie star, and he lives under a monarchy as one of the protected class. Yeah, we don't have to watch the rest of this.
Republicans embrace the fantasy that even...
By the way, at this point, he's just reading this fucking article. Does he actually... other than reading this whole thing, what's the conclusion? He ends here. They are the system. They wanted to move back into the White House. Will it's all. And now, okay. Democratic courtiers and advisors of presidential, retired generals, diplomats, former Wall Street economists, lobbyists, blah, blah. These are the people that they're all moving back in because Biden's president. This is the
White House to wield its awful force. And now, with Joe Biden, that is where they are.
Chris Hedges. Bullshit. Bullshit. I know that's what you want. Bullshit.
Christmas. Glad I put this hat on for that. I suppose when you read something like that, it helps you to recognise something that we've talked about at length in a variety of ways.
No, it doesn't. Because you have created... This is a cul-de-sac of information. You have just read a self-reinforcing document brought to you by your own bias that you're selling to a particular crowd that lives on the shit on America format. That's it.
Uncentralized governmental force. It doesn't matter who you vote for. There's no point in arguing with one.
Yes, it does.
There's no point in pumping up and inflating phony arguments at a point where personal, social, and cultural...
Yeah, guys, a woman's right to choose is a phony argument. Actually getting an infrastructure bill passed, it's a phony argument. Climate change is a phony argument. Pollution's a phony argument. Lead pipes... phony argument. Extending UI and then tapering it out in a gradual form. That's a phony argument. These are all phony arguments.
Awakening is necessary. Protest is necessary. New alliances are going to be necessary. Personal change and a willingness to look at other people with...
By the way, what he means is pretending to look left-wing while making that right-wing YouTube scratch. That's what this is about.
Love and compassion and hope is going to be necessary. Even though that article is almost a post-mortem of a dead nation, it's my belief that...
No. It's a fable. It's prose. It's bullshit. And by the way, there is zero science to any of it. We skip past some of it, but it's the same. I guarantee you. We roll back and, yeah. There's no part of it where you're like, here's a graph. No.
From these atrophying systems, something beautiful can yet...
Yeah, democracy is an atrophying system. Something beautiful can happen again. Just ask Prince Andrew.
That there is still hope for humanity. There's still a hope for civilization. It's just there's no hope for the kind of corporate, capitalist, state-sanctioned, financially led, morally corrupt, empty,
Oh, you mean Russia?
shallow, sometimes downright evil systems that have been in dominance for the last century. Empires end.
Yeah, everything was so much better before the last century, before democracy really took hold and it spread to other countries. You know, we were back when we had straight up theocracies. It was just, you know, life was simpler.
But perhaps we have to look for new empires, new affiliations,
Yeah, that's what it is. New empires. Great. What was that about American hegemony again?
New awakenings. We no longer need to look for some paternal assistance and guidance from systems that are evidently...
Oh, we no longer have to read articles written by people that reinforce our own bullshit narrative back to us. We can just say it ourselves. We don't have to spend an entire video reading someone else's ideas as if they were facts and go, aha, see, I told you I was right because this person's opinion aligns with mine.
Now decaying and dying. We should, I suppose, just let them pass into oblivion because they're not going to offer us any redemption. There's not going to be any solution from those systems.
Yeah, you can't count on democracy. Just let it die, guys. It's mortally wounded by the debt it's taken on with all these social programs while trying to hold people up. And honestly, was it really there for anybody in the first place? I mean, weren't we better off when it was the Pope versus Pope number 2 against the czars against the emperors? I mean...
And I'm in a way kind of glad, because I've sort of felt this since I was about 16 years old.
Yes, we realize you are morally, emotionally, and intellectually stunted.
I've never been able to describe it as articulately and with such accurate analysis as that beautiful article clear.
It didn't do any of those things. It was all his opinion, and a hyper-negative one, because if the Democrats prove him wrong, it pushes off his dream of a collapse and a move towards totalitarian communism further and further away.
He does. But that's just what he thinks and what I agree with. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, there you go. That's just what he thinks and what I agree with. Fucking, what a waste of fucking time. Good Lord. All right, yeah, we're done. He's just gonna, at this point, he's just asking for sales. Whew. It's rough to get through some of the long ones, this time. I will say, where's this guy? How long is this one? Oh, yeah. This is kind of funny. This I'm interested in. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, by the way. Whew. That was a tooth pull. Yes, Midas Touch is going to... well, they're not live after me. It's just when they air it. Because they tape earlier on Mondays and then they put it out. I know because I've been on their show. Unless they are specifically live, in which case if they are, I'll bounce you guys over to them and we'll... yeah, let me know if they are actually live. So check this out. How much time I got? I got 10 minutes. Jesus Christ, that was long. Mike Lindell stormed the Georgia state capitol as part of the Real America's Voice, Steve Bannon pandemic war room thing. This is going to be fascinating.
Only Emerald Robinson and Mike Lindell down there for Frank Speech Lindell TV. Emerald Robinson, take it away. What trouble is Mike Lindell causing?
First of all, why the fuck why does he sound like he's on the phone? Hold on, I don't know if I'm hearing this
in the
right.
Peach State, ma'am.
You know Mike well. He causes trouble everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So.
I see we have...
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You guys are crazy or whatever. I can't see you guys. Is Mike wearing his earphones instead of
Steve, I'm gonna
earmuffs? Does he have earmuffs on, or is he wearing headphones to try and?
Yeah, they're trying to stop our vehicles from coming in. They'll be right back.
So I'll just give you.
They're trying to stop his vehicles. Oh no. Somebody, one of the delivery trucks is shut down. Hold on.
A little summary of what's going on here, Steve. Mike coordinates this. So about to pull up here are 3 SUVs full of thousands of affidavits from not just citizens in Georgia.
Yeah, affidavits. You don't say. Oh, you mean people swearing that they think they saw something? But if they get called into court and they go, you didn't actually see this, you go, well, I thought I saw it. All right, go home. That kind of affidavit?
Across the country related to election fraud and election crimes. In fact, the leader of this group, Holly Kessler, who's from a group called Georgia Patriots, says there's about 20 boxes. That's lots of those.
Get in there.
But
I'm in there.
This is the first time, Steve, they tried to drop these affidavits and have the lawmakers listen to their concerns. This is the 8th time.
Yeah, she's Mike, she's talking. Chill the fuck out, man.
We got the vehicles here. They are.
Wow.
Yes, they are. Yes, we do have confirmation. They are indeed vehicles.
They tried to stop them, but hey, Steve, we've got to hold all the Patriots here. They're going to unload. I don't know.
All of them. I would have thought there were a lot more patriots in the country. Are there not? Are you sure? There's like that means in the United States there are only about 30 patriots, and they're all Karens. That's weird.
So can you kind of explain what's going on?
Hold on. I suppose I should. Let's see. Use. Let's try to do this. Let's see if that's. Try. There we go. Here we go. Hey, Mike. Is this better? Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. Good. You got it right.
Yeah, I explained.
I'm going to get them a little organized here.
Yeah, get them.
Okay,
go get them.
So there's not.
They're organized. Yeah, they're organized. Yeah, are they organized? Get them all inside. Yeah.
Hold it. Is that a threat? Is that a threat when Mike Lindell says we'll go get them organized? Is that a threat? I'm just kidding.
No, it's a pun, actually, technically.
So it's 3,000.
I'm laughing into a cheeseburger.
Like, there's a lot of people get worried when he says that. That's for sure. A lot.
Yes, his lawyers and the accountants at Dominion, because they're afraid they're going to have to count more money.
Republicans and Democrats alike.
Okay.
3,000 affidavits. These are all about election fraud in Georgia, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Exactly. Look, it's not just what you might think. They also say it's maladministration, affidavits about that, not handling, not investigating.
Oh, yeah. So not so much about actual election fraud, but their opinion about how things should have been held in terms of the election during an emergency when the state enacted their special rules, which they had every right to do. I see. Okay, good. All right, that's fine.
What it boils down to, Steve, what they're asking for is still a forensic audit. Now, if you watch corporate media and if you listen to...
Yeah, I know I'm for it too. Yeah. Just for the record, Steve, I'm on the phone here. I want a forensic audit too, because every time they do that, Biden gets more votes.
And you listen to some of the state election officials here, they suggest they've done that, but they really have not. And I know you talked about it a lot on your show. All that Georgia really did was a recount, and that involved...
Yeah, I mean, Georgia is run by Republicans. I mean, can you trust any fucking thing?
Ballots that should not have been counted, right? So this group is asking, once again, for a forensic audit to look...
Yes, they're bringing cookies in right now. They're right behind you. They've all got... Those are all coolers with human hearts in them.
All the issues that happened in the 2020 election. You know, we continue to learn more every day about it. I know you cover it continually, but we learn there's the issues of ballots being picked up after the election. But of course that happened because you had Mark Zuckerberg money coming in and funding those ballot boxes. And this it's a suck-a-buck. Mike's standing right next to you. He gets very upset. It's suck-a-buck. Yeah, it's an anti-Jewish slur. Yeah, just to clarify, suck-a-buck because Zuckerberg, suck-a-buck, Jews money. That's what it's. Yeah, it's a constant anti-Semitic slam against the head of Meta. Yeah. Say they want to see that stop ahead of the next election, but they also want to address the 2020 election, not just look forward.
Sure. No.
Steve.
No. We cannot look forward. Mike, please tell her right now, there is no looking forward. We must 100% look back. And until we can rewrite the entire 2020 election, no Republican should vote in Georgia.
Make sure you tell them that.
Hey, and if Mike's there, give him the. But here's the question: Holly Kessler and this group of patriots have 3,000. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mike.
No, he was just saying.
Yeah, there's over 40,000. It's almost 50,000 of these affidavits and things that we have here that we're going to get into this, Cap.
Affidavits and things. Is that with an and or an ampersand? With the and things.
40 to 50,000.
Yeah, 50 to 60,000. Just 70,000. About 800,000. Yeah.
Yes.
Mike, here's the question: why is Governor Kemp but why is Governor Kemp in Purdue not down there rolling out the red carpet to these patriots and to you and Emerald?
Right.
And
well, obviously, because they don't get snow on the red carpet. They only have one, and they've only got the one red carpet, Steve. So they don't want to get snow.
Having you in for a cup of coffee and hey, let's see what you got. You got 40, 50,000. Give me a couple of three of the worst ones. Where's Kemp? Where's Purdue? In rolling out the red carpet for these patriots that have 40 to 50,000 affidavits.
40 to 50 to 70,000. 70 to 800,000.
Well, I think they're meeting with Brad Ratzenberger to figure out how to keep covering up the biggest crime in history, which in Georgia here, Ratzenberger is probably,
probably
melt down the machines and put them behind bars. And the corruption in Georgia is absolutely I think it's the highest in the country, starting with Ratzenberger.
Well, it is a Republican-run state with a Republican-run Senate, so you might be on to something there, Mike. I would have a total forensic audit if I were you. Insist on it. And if you find another 10,000 votes for Biden because you do that, that's how the cookie crumbles. Just got to live with it.
All of them. Where are they? They haven't listed. Steve, 8 times these patriots have brought them, sent them documents, sent them affidavits, everything else. They've never got an answer.
Yeah, you do know they looked at them, and when they were done laughing, they went to actually, I suppose, do real work for the state of Georgia.
14 departments. Well, here they're going to bring them in now. As you can see behind us, I don't know if you can see that. You guys can come on.
Yes,
bring them in. They're
come on, everybody.
Why don't you go? Here they got them. I don't know. You want to talk to them? Yeah. Are you? Why don't we go to Chicago? Go ahead.
They're going to take him in now, Steve.
It's a little chilly.
Do you think Brian Kemp's at the door? Do you think Brian Kemp's there waiting for them at the door? We haven't been in there yet to see if they're going to let him in.
Probably not.
Brad Ratzenberger's upstairs going, what do I do? What do I do? I better call something. I better figure something out. He's probably...
Yeah, that's it's funny because you got his accent down perfectly. That's exactly what he sounds like. What am I going to do? I mean, that's what happens when you elect Republicans, I guess.
The phone with China right now.
But that is a good question.
Yeah, he's on the phone with China right now. Which must be awkward because they're in the middle of the Olympics and he doesn't speak Chinese.
About David Perdue because he's back on the ballot. And this should be a big concern for him, and he has joined in with the case in Georgia, but he only did that once he was looking at running again.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's got President Trump's endorsement. I thought Perdue would be down there, was sitting next to you guys, would be interviewing Perdue right now because he would say, I love Emerald Robinson, I love Lindell, I love Holly Kessler, I love the work, and yes, we have to.
Yeah, but he hates the snow, so that's where he ran aground. It's just too chilly to be a patriot.
Certify the Biden electors in Georgia. It's incumbent upon everything we do. We got to do that. Why is he not there, Mike Lindell?
Yeah, why isn't he there relitigating an election that happened over a year ago that they clearly lost? And if they look even further, they'll find that Biden got more votes than they even said because they tried to squeeze as many votes Trump's way as possible, and he still fucking lost. Why is that?
I don't know. It's been baffling.
Big tech prevent you. Don't let big tech prevent you from
November 4th
from
that all these politicians, all these Republicans.
Oh, believe me, I got a brand new device that allows me to see clearly what's happening.
Have been hiding out. I think they're all hiding out with Fox. I really believe they've all went Fox on us, Steve.
Yeah, they're all there. Maybe he's not there because he's in New York, where Fox headquarters is. Maybe he's up there getting vaccinated like everyone else who works at Fox.
Well, but if you'll recall, too, Steve, right after the November 3rd election, Perdue was talking about, when he was then a senator, he was talking about working with the Biden administration. That was before the Georgia runoff, the special election.
Okay.
To the Washington
Here's a
Post,
question I've
remember?
got. Yeah.
We can't have.
Here's a question for you first and then for Mike.
Okay.
They got a grand jury. MSNBC every night tells me there's a grand jury in Atlanta, in Fulton County, that's looking at the president and a phone call or something like that. Are you guys going to also take these 40 to 50 affidavits and take them over to the prosecutor and say, hey, give this to the grand jury? You can tell the prosecutor you can shove it up their keister, right? Are you going to take your affidavit?
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that's a standard. That's standard. Most people don't understand. You guys don't know legalese. But shove it up your keister is sort of like it's part of the appeal process. Yeah.
To the grand jury?
I'm gonna be whatever these patriots. We're actually waiting, Steve, to see if they're even going to accept him here. In fact, we'll probably be taking the camera around the corner and see. We're waiting to see. We don't know if they're even going to accept the boxes of all these affidavits. But I told, just like I told them down in Arizona when they did the audits down there.
When they did the whole like panda shit recount and they looked at every ballot and they found that some Trump votes shouldn't have been counted, and they found more Biden votes. You mean when you were down there for that?
We have the Cause of America, which is kind of the network for all the country now, for all these grassroots. And I promised them all their work will not be in vain, Steve. We're not going to let up. We're not.
No, it's not. It's not going to be in vain. Guys, this is not a waste of time.
To stop. As you know, we are not going to stop till they fix the 2020 election.
Oh gosh, Philip, we will chat. You're not on Twitter, are you? I have to figure that out. All right, we'll work it out.
And these machines are gone for this next election, and all the laws go back to the legislators, and the legislators have to grow backbones and actually do something, or they're...
And the knee bone the backbone is attached to the knee bone, and the thigh bone is attached to that weird spot on Steve Bannon's head.
Going to be elected. We're tired of it as people of the United States are just tired of it. I don't care what party you're in.
Yeah.
So I have an update for.
Yeah, we're believe me, yeah, he's right. I'm tired of this, Mike. I'm tired of your bullshit. For the record, I'm tired of seeing you. We're all tired of seeing you. We're all tired of this. It's not the same thing as being tired of the 2020 election or that. No, we're tired of you. Good Lord. Play.
My producer just now told me that they're having them stack the boxes of ballots. Affidavits. They haven't accepted them yet.
They have not accepted them yet.
Yeah, it's weird that a state building wouldn't allow a bunch of randos to bring in a bunch of boxes that they won't allow to go through a metal detector.
Any indication yet? No.
They're call. Did they call upstairs?
No. Yeah, they told them they ain't handling nothing.
Mike, you ought to
handle it from this point.
Take the camera around and let's go see some faces. Let's make some people famous today.
Can we take it off sticks?
Go inside.
Yes.
Here we go.
Action
replays in magnified portion. I'm excited.
We're following you, brother. That's Mike Lindell. We got Mike Lindell, Amber Robinson are live in Georgia. They're delivering, 40,000 affidavits, signed affidavits.
Here it goes. This is action video.
Or have some idea about the election fraud of 3 November.
Yeah.
This is the type of, this is going a little bit Saul Alinsky on you. Hey, this is getting in guys' girls when they blow you off, and what they're doing is blowing people off. They're blowing people off.
Here we go.
There we are right there.
It's terrible. You can't. If they try to blow you off, you go back to them and you do. You say like.
I had a beat off.
Yeah, you don't let them.
Going in there, they got him. Mike Lindell.
Oh, you can see they're stacking them here on the inside.
Oh, she's got the gunk too.
Can we talk to the senior official on the? Can Kemp come down? Ask if Governor Kemp can come down and have a meeting.
Yeah. Ask. See if that works out. Tell him Mike Pillow's downstairs. I'm sure they'll let you to the front.
Let's have him come down and have a few handshakes right there.
Hey, Mike, how come you're not carrying any of the fucking boxes, buddy? What are you, the executive in charge of bullshit, and you let everybody else carry the bullshit? I'm the supervisor. I don't carry this shit.
Yes, sir.
I think rumor has it he's not coming, Steve.
Rumor has it he's not coming. Reality has it.
Well, Mike, hold it, Mike.
Mike goes full soft sit, right? Yeah, he's gone total sovereign citizen. I am an individual that is beyond the rules of this thing. Well, then why do you care about our elections? Damn!
So everybody sees. So you see, they are accepting them there. They are here. So we have the whole United States is watching. They are getting delivered right there.
Yes, the whole United States is watching. Yes, they are, Mike. Yeah, all of America.
So that we will have, here. Can we bring a box over here?
Yeah, see what's in there.
I think he's gonna open a box.
See what's in this
Steve.
box. He's gonna open a box. This is so exciting. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Perfect.
Yeah. So here, hey, you guys. So
it's just paper. I always thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Open up a box here just so you know what we got here. So these, this is a notice to demand to decertify election results. And
wow.
So.
Oh, well, that shit. I don't know why they wouldn't take that seriously. Dear God, a notice to demand.
A lot of these are these, but we have 14. Remember, we have all these signatures.
14 boxes of people demanding that the lawful votes of millions of people be overturned by a couple of dozen dickheads.
We have, what is there? Is there over 40,000, right? There's over 40,000, and this is just the beginning.
No, and by the way, yes, he is weirdly out of breath. And it's 40,000 pages. There's no fucking way that if that's a single affidavit, that there's 40,000 of those in 10 boxes. Get the fuck out of here.
You know, they wanted to, when I heard about these great patriots here in Georgia and these great grassroots groups that are out here, and that's pretty much, I think 90% of Georgia wants this election of 2020.
No, they don't.
I mean that. I mean, even Democrats want it fixed, and because it's disgusting.
No, they don't.
What they've done down here with Rassenberger and Kemp in Georgia and the legislators, Steve.
Crazy.
These they wanted. They said they didn't listen before when they sent them in digitally. So now they ran them all off. As you can see, we'll get this last box in so they don't say they were short.
They were short.
So this is the
that's
last
the fear.
box going in, Steve.
Yeah.
Hello.
They look heavier than a My Pillow.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Steve?
He made a joke. It sucks.
We got a guy here. Come on up here. Here we got what's your name?
My name is Jeff Spava. I'm with Preserve Georgia Rights.
You wrote the document.
I wrote those documents, yes.
Go ahead, Emerald.
Geez, you're with them? What are the odds? How you just happen to be here at the same time we're delivering all this bullshit, and you're the one that wrote all these? That's so odd.
Well, tell us exactly what these documents entail.
Okay, so this is a notice to put our state legislators and our state elected officials on notice.
A notice to put them on notice. How clever.
Georgia State Constitution. The people have a right to petition the government using remonstrance for redress of grievance. This is us exercising our constitutional rights to petition our government.
Yeah, good luck with that. It doesn't override the will of the voters, though.
The Georgia State Constitution says that government is founded on the will of the people.
That's right. It's the will of the people, meaning the majority of the people who've actually voted, not a random selection of psychopaths who think that they should be able to print shit up at home and override the entire fucking election. I guess it's hard to take a deep breath. I think it's Mike Pillow's aftershave, son of a bitch.
And not on the will of the government. And that their job, their primary purpose, their primary function is to our protection and our happiness and our well-being. And we're putting them on notice that they are not doing what we want them to do.
Yeah, you are not making me happy. I did not want the election to go this way. I cannot pursue happiness if I'm on the losing side. I'm emotionally broken.
So we're putting them on notice. I listed detailed Georgia State Constitution, what we want, why the law says that they're required to listen to us, and what they need to do to do the will of the people. And if they
they need to do the will of the people. That's and this is, if there's a better example of the do of the will of the people, this is it.
Do the will of the people, then they're in maladministration, which means that they're not doing their job the way they're supposed to do their job.
Oh, wait a minute. So wait. What happens if politicians don't do their job the way you think they should do their job?
Exactly. I know we talked about it a few times, but what exactly do you want them to do? Hey, professional news lady, put the mic to your mouth when you ask the question, then put the mic to his mouth when he answers.
We want them to. Well, first of all, they're sitting in this building and they're writing so-called new laws to try to fix Georgia election law. Well, how are you going to fix the election if you haven't even investigated to see what really went wrong? Am I right?
Yeah, what really? Yeah, how do you know what really went round? Round and round. How can you know what you're supposed to fix if you won't even look at what's broken?
Okay, so how are you going to make new laws to fix the problem when you don't know?
How about start with decertifying Georgia, right?
Decertify Georgia.
Yeah, that's how it works. Start with decertifying the state. It's kind of like, if you catch somebody who you suspect of committing a crime, why don't you murder them first and then have a trial?
We're demanding that they do not destroy the ballots. They do not destroy the machines, the databases at 22 months.
Right. But once we do have all the data out of the machines, we do want to destroy them and make them into prison bars and put Brad behind bars.
Before you get the data.
Yeah, Mike, the machines are made out of plastic, fucko. Even Brad Raffensperger can get out of a jail cell. Raffensperger can get out of a jail cell with plastic bars. Good Lord.
They do a full independent, not run by anybody in the government, by an independent auditor. And Mr. Carver.
Yeah. Preferably one that speaks Russian.
Whoa, slow down. Take a deep breath. Slow down. Take a deep breath.
To look and see what's really wrong. That's what we want them to do.
Hang on.
Expert, so look and see what really happened.
Steve, that dude's not wearing headphones. Mics are half off, and the woman is ignoring you. You guys are fucking insane. This is awesome, by the way.
No, he wants to ask something.
These are the folks who are going to upend the 2020 election of the United States of America. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got a question for him, Steve?
Everybody take a deep breath. Of the 40,000 or 50,000 documents, affidavits you're saying, how much are saying this is a redress of our grievances, and how much either factual information or new information about voter fraud is contained in this, or is this simply citizens saying, we've had a belly full of this, there's 50,000 of us, you don't have the consent of the government, and we want to redress the grievances? Or are you putting forward...
She's going to have to ask that dude the same fucking question.
Compilation of information in this packages that the Governor Kemp can review, or do you have new information?
So this is a question for you from Steve. Is this new information of evidence of voter fraud, or is this just a redress of the grievances of information that's already been laid out in the past?
Okay, here's the thing. We're not accusing fraud because I can't prove fraud.
Motherfucker! Oh, man. Get the out. Just go. Just out. Like, if she had any, like, if this was like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm or SNL, she'd be like, all right, fucking leave. You leave. Out. You go. What the fuck? We can't, we're not saying fraud because we can't prove fraud. So we're just bitching.
Their job is to prove to the people that there was no fraud. That's what we're asking them to do.
Oh my fucking God. They did. They did multiple recounts. They certified the election. They sent it up. That's what you get. You don't, for fuck's sake, man, if we had to prove to everybody in the country before an election was certified, you'd never have an election because there'd always be some asshole holdout like these guys. Like, I don't believe it unless my guy won. What the fuck are you talking about?
We want them to investigate all of the allegations. Everything that's gone on.
They did.
Check the ballots, check the machines, investigate all the stories that are out there. I mean, there's been so many stories over the last year.
Yeah. Investigate all of the stories that are out there. That's what they want done with taxpayer dollars. Get the
people coming forward of things stories. They saw, things that happened, things that didn't happen.
Yeah, tell us the things that I want to investigate. Things that didn't happen. When are we going to investigate? Shit. When are we going to investigate all the things that didn't happen? Why have they not collected the evidence that does not exist from the crimes that we know were not committed that should have been?
Real investigation. Find out if that stuff's true or not.
So this is based on a lot.
Well, hey, here's a good idea, fucko. You're establishing this. Why don't you go find out if it's true or not and bring the actual evidence instead of wasting everybody's time with a demand that other people waste taxpayer dollars to chase your fart air all around the room.
The anomalies that we've already talked about.
Exactly. But hang on. The Senate hearings that happened a year and a half ago, all of that. What we're saying is you need to investigate that stuff and find out if it's really fraud or not.
He can't, Steve. It's bad enough that you're pulling a Chris Matthews with the two people that do have earbuds. This guy can't fucking hear you. You can't shut him off. Let him finish his goddamn question or send in better people. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lulu girl.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Hang on for a second. Slow down. You've got every government official down there that's a Republican. I'm not talking about the Democrats and Stacey Abrams, all that. You've got every elected Republican official from Roethlisberger to all the Grundoons that come out and talk on TV, to the lieutenant governor, Cosmo Man, to people in the Senate and in the House, and the governor himself who's running again and is still polling at 35 or 40%, I think. So you've had every elected official. Why is that not good enough for you, sir?
You're asking that guy? Whose side are you on, Steve? Did Mike hear that? Is he on the floor? Is she looking down at Mike? No, there he is.
Steve was asking, since you've had every elected official here say that this is secure, why is that not good enough for you? Including Governor Kemp, Roethlisberger.
You're going to investigate yourself and tell me nothing. You found nothing wrong. Okay, I mean, come on now.
That Mike loved that one. You're going to investigate yourself? No, they had. I mean, do I have to bother to go look at the Georgia recount stuff and who they had do it? Do I have to? The nonpartisan group they brought in? Fucking hell.
Here's the thing. Government is founded on the will of the people. The people created the government. You work for us. It's not the other way around. We don't work for you. You work for us.
Yeah, but you can't, small groups of people can't demand the entire shift of the government based on their complaints just because they were on the losing side of an election. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a functioning government, which explains Georgia, I suppose.
Okay.
If your company, if there's a problem with your books.
Okay. You work for us. Well, I don't work for you. That's why I brought all these boxes down here. Should have made them come pick them up, motherfucker.
Are you going to
Okay,
check
I don't need.
yourself and see
Okay,
everything's okay, or are you going to hire someone else to come in and see if your employees?
I don't need the Constitution read to me. Okay, here's what I got. Hold it, hang on. Ask him the other question. Has he taken this information that they have of anything of voter fraud he thinks are fact?
He said he doesn't have any voter fraud. This is all just them demanding they go find some. This is basically 40,000 pages of Trump's, guys, find me 11,000 votes. That's what that is. It's just that written. It's like in The Shining, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But it's just Trump's line about find me 11,720 votes over and over and over again so that Shelley Duvall can leaf through them and they're all in different shapes and start going, I'm going to try and take Daddy down the hill in the snowcat today. And Mike Lindell's going, give me the bat, Wendy. Give me the bat.
Has he taken it to a county prosecutor? Has he taken it to the grand jury? Has he gone to these prosecutors and said, hey, you're investigating Trump and you're investigating phone calls, and I hear every night on TV that Trump's going to get a grand jury subpoena down in Georgia. Have you guys gone to the grand jury? Have you gone to the criminal side of this?
Yep. So have you guys
They don't have any evidence, fucko. He already said that.
Gone to the criminal side of this? Have you gone to the grand jury, the prosecutor that's investigating Trump, and taking this information, affidavits?
I have not at this point. I want the legislature to do their job. We're trying to with the.
Yeah, I don't even have. I ain't got. There's nothing. These. Honest to God, I shat in 4 of these boxes. I don't know what the fuck.
Notices that we've written. We're addressing the legislature. We're addressing the House. This new, I haven't audited.
Wait a minute. How the fuck does Mike Lindell not know what's in these boxes? Didn't he coordinate all this shit? What is happening? Oh, thanks, Pamela. I'm glad you like the Shining analogy. I think it's fairly sound.
This grand jury. Here's the thing with the grand.
I'm honest. I'm just so fucking confused that Mike Lindell, this is his entire spectacle. And then, like, the idea that this dude's magically there is obviously bullshit. But why is Lindell and this guy not going, we work together to try and blah, blah, blah. Like, Lindell's just like, we're here to China. God.
According to the United States Supreme Court, the grand jury is supposed to be the people's court, not the government's court. And so...
Yeah. And so we've addressed all of our grievances to Judge Wapner.
We should be able to have grand jury investigations of our own.
I want to ask you something.
No, you cannot have grand juries of your own. The fuck out of here. What are you talking about? If you don't like who's in there, elect someone else. Run yourself. Have our own grand juries. We should, if we need to hang somebody, oh boy.
Okay, you guys have all heard of this Haldeman report. What do you think of Ratzenberger? First he blocks it, now he says, okay, let's go get it, but he gives it to the feds. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, here, you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that they had the court give their report they gave it to CISA and they gave it to Dominion.
Yeah.
So that next week, when they go out and release it for everybody to see, Dominion has the opportunity to go, oh yeah, we saw that, but we've already fixed it, right? Yeah. I think it's a load of crap.
Do you wonder? Do you wonder why they? Do you want? What's that? Go ahead, Steve.
No.
This is fucking gold.
You got to bounce. I got MTG, so I got to bounce. We can come back to you.
I got to bounce. I've got MTG. Oh God, where's Lindell? He's in his house in D.C. in front of his fucking fireplace where he always is. He's the tip of the spear crack of his ass in the middle of upscale Washington D.C. Good Lord.
We can come back to you guys as you're sitting there.
Yeah, we'll come back to you after you're done talking to this asshole, because this well just went dry right before my fucking eyes.
To see if these things get loaded in, okay? Let's take a short break.
Yeah, loaded in. They're going through the metal detector into a storage closet, straight to a shredder. Get fucked.
We're going to go to Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, live. This is 40 to 50,000 affidavits from citizens of Georgia. People are trying to force action using this as a forcing function. I think the bigger...
Yes, it's a forcing function. That's what it truly is. Son of a bitch. Oh. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to worry about these people. I know oh my God, our democracy under attack. I know the news tells me all the time, oh, this is serious. Trump could, what if he, get the fuck out of here. Seriously, why am I supposed to stress about these dickheads at all? You think if Raffensperger's in that building, he is laughing his ass off. This is so fucking dumb. Oh God, a force function. Oh, it's so much lovely fun. I'm sorry, it's serious.
People want.
Oh, sorry. Hold on, the wrong one.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
It's just I honest to God, please, can we just reflect back for a moment at the end of the show as I let you guys go, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon for the regular show. Can we reflect for a moment the amount of fear peddling we have seen today from Russell Brand and his nonsensical blather, and Dan Bongholio, who is telling us that truth is dead while talking out of his ass. And then finally, Mike Lindell, after a fucking year and a half of us watching his stupid videos and his stupid movies about the, every fucking, where is it? Hold on. I'll even bring up this part. Yeah. How many times this shit.
Wow. What? Wow. 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 100% proof. This is 100% fact here. This is going to reveal all the evil in our country.
I mean, that's where we started off with all this fucking nonsense. Do you remember that? I watched all of them. I sat through all of these fucking things. And many of you with me, bless your hearts. I can't thank you enough for those that wrote out those like 6-hour episodes where we would do one of his movies and go piece by piece through this shit. And everybody was saying, you'll recall, during the early days of this, Michael Lindell's going to lead to this is the January 6th. This is kind of like, there's a dry run. These people are serious. This is a thing that they're going to, and I was like, no, it's not. I'm not going to be afraid of these ridiculous assholes. Absolute 9-0 was hilarious. Right? You guys remember, we went through all this stuff and everybody was like, oh my God, it's like this, he's dumping money into it. He's supporting all this. Fuck off. It was gibberish then, it's gibberish now, and I'm not going to be afraid of this asshole upending our country. And every time it happens on the news and somebody goes, well, it's very concerned that he showed up at the Capitol building with some, but shut up. You know how many rando morons file shit against the government every goddamn day? Or how many sovereign citizens are pulled over by the police and try to kill cops because they believe that their vehicle counts as a country? We have more to worry about those assholes than we do about him. And Lindell, again, in the beginning, we kind of thought of him as a gullible sap. But he's an awful person. He's mean-spirited, and his anti-Semitic suck-a-buck bullshit has got to get called out again and again. Oh yeah, remember? Absolute 9-0. I called that company on the air that he was listing. He was listing the companies that had made connections or whatever through. They'd gotten their DNS which, by the way, all of the stuff in the Absolute Proof video, his stuff that he also did in his thanks-a-thon thing where he was like had his Cyberama, the Cyber Symposium. Remember that shit? Was all the same kind of stuff that they're saying, Clinton spied on Trump because because of DNS lookup stuff. It's the same shit. You could very well say, using the standard of Fox News and Bongino and all these assholes, that Mike Lindell spied on the American people during the election. It's gone. It's just nonsense. And I'm not going to be afraid of these assholes. I refuse to take them seriously. Not going to happen. I'm like, and as a matter of fact, I take a deeper breath every time I see some of this horse shit, because I know full well that I have nothing to ultimately fear from these people, because they will do nothing but fail. And the same thing with Russell Brand. We're watching him peter out. He's printing money with his website, but eventually, if he doesn't turn into his own British version of Joe Rogan, which is, or Alex Jones, which is what he's trying to do. He's trying to split the baby between Alex Jones and Joe Rogan and make a living there. That's his goal. And that's what he's doing. And that will be his hard fade. Period. And I'm not going to fear that asshole or any of that stuff. And to all the maggots and Trumpsters who hate watch the show and are angry at me for calling this stuff out, my message to you: I want no harm to come to you. And I want us to be able to argue politics and policy decisions for the rest of our lives in the under the dome of an open and accepting democracy. I don't want you wiped out. I don't want you to die of COVID. I don't wish you ill. I never will. Even when I can't stand what you stand for, I'll just tell you. Period. Not going to happen. I'm not going to make you a villain, even if you're my political opponent. And I appreciate you guys showing up, because you helped me with the algorithm more than anybody else. You guys spread me through YouTube's algorithm and through Twitch, twitch.tv/HalSparks. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. You haven't in a while, have you? Subscribe. It would help. You guys let the algorithm know that not only am I here and that I should be made available to people who don't normally watch this kind of content, but you also, in sharing the show accidentally, because you know that little line in your YouTube thing that says, viewers who watch this also watch that. You know that? You've seen that? Okay, I now show up in that chain of shows and those on those YouTube videos because of you. In line with other stuff where people wouldn't see me otherwise. Midas Touch is live. I'm going to send you guys over there. I think they should be on Twitch right now, so I will let you guys go to it. Let's see if I can grab that. Hold on. Got to restart that page. See if they're on the thing. They're not. Are they on? So's Airborne. Pick a. Maybe you have to find it. Because I think they're on.
What you're going to see now is 100.
Stop it. Quit it. I was typing in the wrong keyboard. Beg your pardon. 2M. Quit. Go in here. There you go. Thank you. What happened? There you go. Midas. Whoops. Touch. I think they have. Nope. Are they on Twitter, guys? Is Midas Touch on Twitter? Thanks, guys. No, I appreciate you guys. I don't see them on Twitter for Midas Touch, but if you guys want to jump over there on your own, otherwise I'm going to send you guys over to say hi to our dear friend Airborne Ojeda, and you'll send him a bunch of love, and I will see you guys tomorrow at the regular time. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I know, maggots, I know you think I don't mean it. I know you think I want you imprisoned or canceled or some shit, because all you do is huff Tucker's farts all day, and that's what you would come to as a conclusion. But it ain't so, and I'm here to tell you. So to you and your family, have a safe evening. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.